Good evening. This is a hearing of the Judiciary and Legislative Investigations Committee. Tonight we're hearing City Council Resolution 07-0307R, introduced by Councilman Young, who is here tonight to my left. It's an investigative hearing, Department of Public Works, Bureau of Water and Wastewater, the Utility Billing Division. If you're requesting the Director of Public Works, the Chief of Bureau of Water and Wastewater, Utility Billing Division, and Director of the Treasury, report to the City Council a number of complaints of incorrect billing or meter reading for water and sewer service provided to Baltimore City households. My name is Robert Kern. I'm the Vice Chair of the Judiciary and Legislative Investigation Committee. Councilman Jim Kraft is the chair of the committee. Asked me to hold the hearing in his stead. I'm going to ask the sponsor of the resolution for some opening comments. And tonight we're going to do something a little differently. We're going to ask the folks that have signed in from the public to testify first, because in the past, a lot of times, the members of the public would have to wait 45 minutes, hour and a half to make their testimony heard. So we're going to start off with the testimony from the public first. We're also joined by Ms. Marguerite Murray from Council Services and Ms. Osmond from Council President Stephanie Rawlings Blake's office, Director Winfield, Department of Public Works, the Bureau of Management and Budget Director Ray Wax, liaison to the City Council, Ms. Angela Gibson, and Director Winfield, I'll let you introduce the members that you brought with you when we get into DPW. Councilman Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution was introduced because of the number of complaints that I was receiving, not only from phone calls to my office, but as I walked the streets of Baltimore, different markets that I was attending, people was talking about these high water bills. Even myself, I received an outstanding water bill that really I shouldn't have received because it was really a large water bill. And I introduced this resolution so that we can have the Bureau Head and the Director of Public Works to come here and tell us exactly what's going on. Because I do believe within myself that something is not right, something is wrong. And I just want to get to the bottom of it, Mr. Chair, and if it means that they need to hire more people, if it means that they need to look at the salaries that these workers are making to attract more people to do meter reading, we need to do that. But I know that something is not right, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Young, and obviously I work with you on this issue too. I'm co-sponsor of the resolution, and we work together on a lot of the issues that affect the consumers of the Baltimore City, the water and wastewater and other issues. So with that, I said tonight we're going to go into public testimony first. Linda Stewart, followed by Terry Stewart, and the folks that have signed in the next sheet will be coming up right after that. I'll call your names off after the first two. Welcome to City Council Chambers.
Thank you. My husband has some
Pull right to the microphone.
Okay.
Yes. If you need to, you can pull it out if you wish.
My husband's going to pass out some information for everybody so you can follow right along.
Do we need to read this before the end of the night?
Well, you can follow along. It's not as bad as it looks.
Okay.
A lot of them are just copies of water bills.
You came well prepared.
Yes, I did. I've been investigating for a while. First off, back in March, I owned three properties.
You can pull it out if you wish. There you are. That's more comfortable for you.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I own three properties, and back in March of '06, all three of my water bills for my properties were a little, well, one was real low, one was high. If you turn to the first page after the letter that I received from Mr. Brewer, it shows all my water bills. And if you look,
Letter dated August 06.
yeah, that's
Okay.
the letter that Mr.
Okay.
Brewer sent me from the water department.
Okay.
But my bills are listed, if you start at the bottom and work your way up, from the bottom to the newest. And it shows how much in March of '06, it was $86. This is for a tavern. I know that's too low for one. So the next time, it was raised up to $425.
Oh, just so we make sure we're following right, it's a second page behind your letter, and you want us to read from the bottom up.
From the bottom, you want to find December 27th, '05 to March 29th, '06. From the bottom.
Hold on a second, let me make sure. December, you can come up, why don't you approach us here and just point to where, is this the sheet you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, over here.
Right here, you're going to look at the highlights
Okay.
mainly. Anything highlighted
Okay.
is probably what I'm going to be talking about.
Okay.
So $86
Wait till you get to the microphone so our viewing audience can read. I see.
So just pay attention to the highlighted
All right.
things. Anyway, the bill went from 86 to 425.
Right.
Which, when I called to complain, Mr. Brewer sent somebody out to check my properties. And he found out that somebody did read my meter incorrectly in March, and he stated it in the letter that's on the front. I was complaining about all three of my buildings, not just one. He only had them check one. If you check the next 2 pages after that, you can look down the bottom. Right around the same time, my water bill went from $42 up to $800. This was the same quarter.
Which column are you talking about to the, okay, 42, I see the 42, March 29, okay.
Yep, same quarter. My other property on the next page, if you see March 29th, the bill was $154 that. Before that, my bill was always the minimum, $29. It jumped up once. That was a 6-month period. So that had a right to jump up.
There's something happened in December, March 2802. I see where you highlighted.
Right, well, from there on up, my water bills kept jumping up after that.
But I see them are all in the $29, $30 range.
Right, and that's how much they've always been. There's 2 people living there. I did not get the bill from December 29th. I don't know if it got lost in the mail, or I lost it, or whoever lost it. I never got it, so. So as I complained to Mr. Reisinger, he, and I told him I got a turn-off notice from my water, that he sent me this email back on the next page. It says, "Do not turn off under investigation." Went on.
I see it.
After that, the next page, I get a letter, a copy of an email that was forwarded to me. And if you see, we have checked our utilities and found that the structures to be operating correctly, the sanitary and storm sewer drains were televised, and the wastewater lines were leak detected. And the surface failure is not from our source. If you go down the bottom, this is a letter from Mr. Winfield. It says, "Councilman Reisinger raised concerns listed below at a meeting yesterday. It is my understanding that the listed issues are being investigated by our staff. I believe the subbase of Curtis and Pennington Avenues are or have failed, causing the top surface to fail." This is right at my home here.
Okay.
Besides the fact, after that, on the next page, they're going to extend the sewer line from the leach pond at the quarantine landfill right up to my house. And if you know where Curtis Bay is, it is just filled with chemicals in the area. The back page is something from New York City that shows how they have water billing problems up there also. They also had just passed a 6-year grievance period for the overcharged city water customers. A 6-year grievance. My property wasn't even late, say 9 months before it was sold at tax sale, and I was arguing. Now I just want to go over a few of the bills that I did find with you, and if you go to the other pages on the other side,
On the other side? Okay.
what started this.
I just want to make a comment, you've really done your homework here.
Yes, I have. If you started on the top one, it's listed as 1601 Hazel Street. When I looked this up, I thought it was a tavern nearby. Come to find out, it's for a water fountain at a drinking park, at a park, at regular old water fountain. It didn't work. They got a $9,000 bill. When I did call to complain, it did drop down some to $1,300, and then it went back up. I don't know why, and now it's back down because we've been complaining some more. This is-
Obviously, there's 3 dates, well, man, it's all just one, the 3,035. That's all at one date, 29, it's September the 20th, it's all the same.
Yeah, some of these are, every time you see a bill is every time I looked it up on your website. So one thing may have changed on it or another.
Okay.
There's a rec center also at the same park. And if I can bring this up to...
At 1601, sure,
Yeah.
1601
Yeah,
Hazel?
but it's called 4416 Burns. It's the same park.
Oh, I see, okay.
This is the park here. This is a wading pool that's very seldom in use.
Okay,
This is the rec center, and the drinking fountain is right up here, and this is the water main for the drinking fountain.
okay.
But this building here is smaller than my tavern, and they're getting a $4,000 water bill.
The one on Curtis Avenue?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you go on the next page, it's just a copy of the water bill for $9,000 that the park received. Then you can go on to the next pages, and it goes on to show you some of the reduced bills that people have gotten. And
700,000? $1,000,007?
yeah, let's see here. It's hard to see up here.
You following this,
If you go to
Director?
Sports Legend at Camden Yards, they got a $145,000 water bill. They never paid it because you see March 06, oh, might be a typo there, March 06 or 07, they paid $2,300. They never paid the $145,000 bill, so what happened? It must have been reduced.
what page are you on?
Same thing with the zoo here,
What, Miss, what page are you on?
where it says reduced, right in the middle,
Reduced.
where it,
Okay. Oh,
In
on the
the
second
middle.
page here, I see. Okay.
if you go to the zoo right below that, they had received a water bill for $678,000. That was reduced also. They are now paying about $15,000. Some of the ones are repeated on here, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Public Service Commission, they had theirs reduced. I don't even want to try to explain theirs on the next page, 6 St. Paul Street.
I'm seeing it, 6 St. Paul.
They keep being billed, but I don't know, they keep getting credit, and then they keep having a balance, and they haven't paid anything, but, see, there was also one for $1 million.
I saw that on the,
And then on the back of them is 3 of the copies of the bills that I was talking about. Oh, the one for $351,000, that's right down my street from my house. Let's see. They haven't been, the last time they paid their bill was in 1993, but yet in 4/17/07, they get the $351,000 bill. What happened in between there, I don't know.
that's the Ben Hill Avenue address.
Yes, near chemical superfunded site.
Okay.
Then on the next page, you're going to go through a bunch of credits, and we're not going to sit here and go, but you can go and see all the credits that people have gotten money back on, and it's in the thousands. If you go to 3701 Century Avenue, they haven't made a payment since 1997 and still have a $30 credit. That's on the first page of the credits.
Century,
It's in the pink
on the first page?
of the credits, yes.
Oh, the credits, I'm sorry. Century Avenue, I see, 3701. Okay.
They haven't
Made a
Paid
payment
those.
since 97.
and still using up their credit. Why didn't they refund them the money? And I see this on a lot of them that are like that. 1818 Eastern Avenue, on the next page, that lady lost her home to a tax sale. It was reported from the city paper. They haven't made a payment since '05, and they still have a credit.
So this next packet here is all the credits, all stapled together,
All
okay?
stapled together, and then there's the bills on the back that shows some of them. But you can see credits since '03. These people don't have money to be putting out and letting the water department hold on to this money. There's a senior center, Liberty Heights Avenue. They've had a credit for since '02.
The Forest Park Senior Center. I'm looking right at it.
They have a credit for $452 since '02. Shouldn't they turn that money over to unclaimed property? Fairfield is another one, a chemical company in my area. You can see the bill went from $31,000 to $7,000 to $5,000. And this just keeps going.